Hello and welcome to our place in Sicily, and it's time for another
Room by room.
And today we are in Becky's guest room. Becky's our oldest daughter.
Daughter number one, yeah, in the guest room.
But not our number one daughter. We don't have favorites.
All right.
This is her guest room. And we'll get a little look at her ensuite bathroom too.
All right, excellent.
Okay, so as we said, this is our daughter Becky's room, and it has a little bathroom on it too, which is great. Well, actually, it doesn't. There's a dressing room.
Yeah, small room, that we're going to make into a bathroom because there's not enough bathrooms in this house for modernity.
Well, there will be too many bathrooms soon.
Yes.
But let's turn this around and take a look, because this is a very cool room and it's got some really cool details too. Once again, let me apologize for the audio. The audio video? For the audio, this is missing. So I'm doing a voiceover because we forgot to turn our mics on. And let me introduce you to GALILEO. He's in jail here, and he is hanging out on the ceiling here in this guest room. This is also done by Giuseppe Sciuti, and the reference for this painting was actually a sculpture used for some sort of a convention in Pisa. And around this room are also these little sort of historical, geographical vignettes. We don't know if they had any significance to the family or if it was just to show them well-traveled or just to show different parts of the world. But we do see that it's a theme that Giuseppe has put into some of his frescoes in private residential places. And again, we've got this beautiful 3D detail on here. This is totally 2D, even though it looks like some plasterwork. Even that yellow molding, and by the way, notice his signature yellow color. It's one of those dead giveaways for Giuseppe. And he's even sort of framed around GALILEO to make this look like a 3D piece of art that is hanging on the wall. He's used beautiful backgrounds. Now, some of the variation in the backgrounds here are from age, but I know he also add some of it to give texture and dimension to these. Oh, check out these paint splotches on the walls. So that is from Giuseppe wiping off his brush, taking off extra paint. Unfortunately, I know at the time of doing the recording of this that we've had to take the stucco off of this wall. We do have it on the other two end walls, but this one needs to be restructured. So it's kind of a bummer. And it's sad because we even have a little detail here of his sketch. You can see him sort of working out in his head what he wants to paint up along in the corners and at the sort of midpoints. So that design there you can see is the same design that my blurry finger is pointing at, that he was working out below. So I love that he used the walls as a sketchboard. So like I said, we lost this sort of top layer of stucco because we need to restructure these walls. They're made with old mortar and that can just disintegrate, and we need to put a big heavy cement beam to rest on these walls. So it's going to get some new kind of like a spray fiberglass and then stucco on top of it. But, I'm glad we got a lot of this on film. You can see this had wallpaper on it. Now, one of the things I found when we took the doors off was even more, I don't say more wallpaper, but even previous color wallpaper. So you can see that comes off and goes right pretty much to the base color. So it looks like this maybe got a whitewash or something at some point. Here's a close-up of that. We're going to get another close-up here. A little better lighting. Here we go. So you can see it's sort of stamped or a screen print. It's probably a stamp. I'm not sure the era. I'm doing some more wallpaper research, but it's definitely a paper, not a vinyl. But it looks like this wall was never like painted because there's no paint on top of the drips. So this has always been wallpapered, and we know it's this wallpaper. And then there's another one that is, it's kind of like a teal aqua. It's a beautiful wallpaper that would have come before this one, and very, very cool. So we don't know what this little square is. There is a little nail and a hook, so I don't know if what was on the hook fell off or how that was related, but that's there. And then on this side, this is the back of the family room. And to the left there is where we have the safe, the pink safe. You can check out our room by room for the living room to see that. Now this wall we're looking at, you still see the paint drips. That wall is staying, and we're going to try to keep that wall. This is the other one that also had the top layer come off, but we will seal these with something so that those end walls, so that we can save that. That's both something that I would like, and my daughter, who is also a bit of an artist as well, likes the idea that we can see behind the scenes in this room. But unfortunately, we can't keep those. Around the bottom, you can see a green border, but let's look at our strawberry tile. This is Piedimonte tiles, so it's the cement tiles. The color goes through a good portion of the tiles. They're thick. We've saved these. All these have been pulled out because we're going to secure the floor underneath, restructure it, make sure it's all nice and safe. And then it can also get sort of buffed, grinded down, so it'll be a nice new. I want to point out there's a doorbell here. And you would have come to the top of the stairs and rung the doorbell, and that would have come in there. I'm also showing you a little of the detail we have, and how they brought this in sort of after, because it was painted before they had electricity in the house. I love these doors. Matt's going to open this up. There's so much great hardware on these. These have been removed, but it's only for safekeeping while we do it. And that's when those were removed, where I found that other aqua wallpaper under there. Let's look at the door that leads into what will be a bathroom. It's a smaller door, but what I like is the little paneling above it. So when that's open, it feels like a little paneled hallway. That is a thick wall there. And then this is the same paneled sort of doorway into the living room, and then more doors because there's a door of some sort on every wall. This is our door to our balcony. It's pretty high up there, and it's a beautiful balcony with a lovely railing. These doors are not going to stay. Oh, also you see this little sort of valance thing. This is a thing that exists here. I'm not sure what the reason is, because you would have had two sets of doors on that window. But anyways, here's GALILEO and the bedroom. And let's take a little mosey into the little side room we think was maybe a dressing room. There is a small chance that this was actually a bedroom, but it's a very small chance because it's a very small room. But we know that it was sometimes normal for them to have small rooms. So Matt's 6'1", and so you can see sort of the size there. He's going to open this little tiny armadio closet. It's what we'd call it in the States. Very simple. And it was built in later. It wasn't original. We know because when we took the sort of stucco off the other side, we could see the bricks that were filling that hole. So I love this little room. I love it so much. So many parts to this that are amazing. It's been painted a few different times. It has its own balcony, which is lovely. Not a great view or anything, but I love the ceiling. Up here in the middle, we are putting a crystal. It's not a chandelier. It's more of like a ceiling mounted light fixture, but it has crystals on it that form the shape of a daisy. Check out this like sort of 2-dimension again that Giuseppe Sciuti gets on his walls, which is just great. And we also have 2 sconces that sort of match. They're not made at the same time, but they have that same sort of daisy crystal on it. And we obviously have a tiny bit of repair to do in here. But those sconces will be used by the sink. We're still figuring out the exact layout here. We will be fitting a sink, a shower, and a toilet with a bidet feature is what my daughter has requested. She is a fan of the bidet. You can see this top layer of paint did not agree with the bottom layers. And here we've got, like, it's totally come off some parts of this, which is very surprising to me. I don't really understand how this works, but I know, having been abandoned for a while, it's a problem. You can see like 2 colors of terracotta and a white and a cream on top and possibly one other color. So I'm not sure how many times this was painted. You can see that yellow up there is not weird staining. Again, that is the artist wiping off his brush. That's the yellow that's running around the gold banding. Oh, and we're going to use brass fixtures in this bathroom to sort of pull down that brass. Here's another good look at how that's just peeling off there. And the walls are kind of like a pinky cream, but the door trim and stuff is a more yellow cream. Not sure exactly what color will make this. It has a lovely sort of pansy African violet type floor again. This is the cementina flooring that can be all buffed and sanded and look new again with like the shamrock border. Yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty cool little bathroom. I'm excited about what we can do with it. Doesn't everybody want a bathroom with a balcony on it? So this sort of shows you what this whole little ensuite looks like, the painting with Galileo, and just like why we're excited to use this. My daughter is excited for this to be her room. And I wanted to also point out, okay, so we showed you how that electric came in, but I thought it was important. The electric came in obviously before this wallpaper was put in, because this wallpaper was over the electrical, and excess electric, so they couldn't have pulled it up and put it back down. So these are like the little mysteries we find out. And then Matt's pointing, it would go all the way around sort of the fake trim or real trim in a house like this. And then they just pop it up on a door frame. And might we do stuff like that in this house? Well, we might, but it will be really cool and classy way, because there's lots of cool solutions we have now. But when possible, we'll be hiding it in the wall. But it takes a lot of work to do that. And I mean, we're up for the work, but yeah. So what do you think of this wall and of this paint? Are you sad like we are that we had to remove this? We sure are. But that's Becky's guest room. Okay, that's it for this room by room. A look at Becky's guest room ensuite. So if you liked this, please give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment, question, idea. That's what these room by room videos are especially for. And if you're not already subscribe, because we got lots of stuff coming. And but for now, that's goodbye from me
and Matt and
Galileo.